then at the Ministry of Environment, at ODS in particular, drainage services, the biggest issue in terms of quality, when you're talking about hydraulics, you need energy to flow. You need volume, space for the water to stay. But we found out that a lot of encroachment into right-of-way is a big problem. Because it's a low-lying area, we don't have that much head to create energy for water to flow. So water retention is a big issue. And for you to retain water, you need volume, you need space. But people, out of whatever reason, have built into the right-of-way of the drainage alignment. So when I was, director monitoring and, evaluation in ODS, before I went to Laswamo, my job was just to ensure that projects, I was supposed to do the project management of all the projects. People, the area the engineers will report to me on the progress of their project. So when they are at the meeting reporting, I check what they're saying. Is it in conformity with what I've seen on site or what my people have seen on site? The quality in terms of time and delivery quality. So we noticed that a lot of, oftentimes these projects are just being tucked into small spaces, and we needed a lot of enforcement to be done on right-of-way. I wasn't director of enforcement, we had an enforcement department. But it was my job to identify such areas, serve out notices, and ensure, get them to do their work. One major thing we did was...
Sorry to cut you, sir. Please be conscious of the mic.
I've forgotten, sorry, thank you. For the first time, we were able to recover lost alignment in Victoria Island and the Koi. We carried out an enforcement activity in supposed areas where they say it's not possible. Because where you have channels that you can't maintain, it's not enough that you have constructed the drain. The drain won't clean itself because we don't have enough energy. So if there's energy, they can have a self-cleansing velocity in the drain to take away the debris into the outfall. But because it's low-lying, so we need to go to be manually or mechanically cleaning the drain. So just to show leadership, I took on VI myself. And we did the enforcement and we cleared all the right-of-way and the Koi. So subsequently, other local governments followed suit, and that's how we started enforcement. So that was my short stay in drainage. I was able to ensure that we got compliance on all these alignments on the drainage channels. So we were able to, that gave us government the opportunity to now properly upgrade all these channels, concrete line them. We're able to now have enough access to clean and maintain the channel and cut away whenever we're doing such exercises. So that was what I did then when I was at drainage.
What you said now, concrete lining, reminds me of, I think we did something similar in Alimosho, some of the waterways, I think a particular river. I think Commissioner remarked about that.
We did a lot of projects. When ODS came back, we did a lot of projects. Off the cuff now, there was the biggest project we did when I was there was the Aboru Channel. Alimosho Aboru Channel. That's almost 9 kilometers long. We dared it. One thing we noticed is that Lagos is a small land. Lagos is a low-lying area, but people are encroaching into the green belt. Green belts were created to receive storm runoff, storage. But when people now start encroaching into the green belt, it reduces the area available for the water to be stored. So to do that, water is measured in volume, length, breadth, height. If I had this right table for water and I want to reduce the area, that means water that was stored on this table at this height, if I reduce the width of this table, water will come this high. So if I want to build on this, I have to sand fill above the level of the water, not build at this level and drive. That means the water you are driving won't go anywhere It was still spread. So we now thought that, okay, this is a new green area people are building into. Let's retain and concrete line that 9.5 kilometers all the way from Abeokuta Expressway up to Ikola, going into the Ilo River. You know, it was what we started and, you know, was done until I left.
You know, I know that Aswamu, as you said, was under the governor. I think it was
Under environment.
under environment, but the governor was probably directly overseeing it. Is that what?
No. We had an essay, Dr. Folami, then. He was my immediate subordinate then. But the governor had interest in it. I mean, it was a novel idea, a novel area that the governor believed in the environment because we made him see the challenges with the environment from wastewater. You see, people don't see wastewater like you see solid waste. If you put solid waste, people will see it. If you put sewage, people won't see it. Even when they are perceiving it. You see it every day, but you don't notice it. When there is no drain, when there is no rain, is the drain in your house ever dry? No. Where is water coming from? Rain is not falling. Where is water from? That's wastewater. But nobody cares. But if you see sack of refuse, you notice it quickly. But every day wastewater is in the environment from our houses. So a lot of us channel our wastewater into the drain. But the drain is meant for rain water, not for your wastewater. So this education was brought to the fore, and the governor said, well, this is the truth. Oh. I mean, if you travel abroad, you still don't see water in their drain. It's dry when there's no rain. But in Lagos, forget it. 24/7, there's water in every drain. And it's blackish with algae. Trees even grow. So because the water is rich in nutrients. So we are polluting the environment every day with wastewater. So the governor then, Mr. Fashola, SAN, took so much interest in it and actually turned the department into an office and actually invested so much resources. But we couldn't do much because of subsequent understanding. Because if you ask Lagosians what you want government to do for you, nobody will ask for a treatment plant because they don't even know it exists.
So that takes me back to this same conversation. I know in those periods you were instrumental in the reconstruction of about 4 or 5 wastewater.
Oh well, those were
moribund.
They were moribund, but those were plans that were done by the government of Alhaji Lateef Jakonde. May the Lord rest his soul. We had all these low cost housing units all over the state, and it is a standard anywhere in the world that wastewater should not go into the environment untreated. So all those estates came with their own treatment plants. But because management of such public infrastructure ought not be left in government, because these are private estates that we had sold to individuals, there should have been some form of facility management done to ensure the sustainability of such projects. So when we got there, yes, government initially, when we got there, the plants were all dead. So my predecessor started the revamping process. We got there and we made sure we finished the rehabilitation of all the treatment plants, except one. That's one at Amuwo that was actually dismantled to give way for the road expansion. With the plan that it was going to be relocated, but well, I hope that will be done someday, somehow. So when we did that, we now had an agreement with the people that you have to pay for this. Thing is not free. When I serve you, you pay. I'm taking your wastewater, I'm treating it. You have to pay something. And we already had an agreement that we're going to be paying. But at that time, I was taken out. So I didn't know what eventually became of the agreement.
I mean, I know some of the things you are alluding to.
So can I just use myself?
All right, go ahead.
Excuse me.